Abby, you talked about you used to work for Planned Parenthood, and now you're here speaking at a pro-life event. Tell me, what was the transformation? How did that take place?
There were several things, but the main thing that happened was watching an abortion take place on an ultrasound and seeing a 13-week-old child fighting and struggling for its life and ultimately losing the battle to abortion.
We talked about several pro-life protesters you saw when you worked for Planned Parenthood. You talked about some that were very violent protesters, and you talked about the 40 Days for Life. Tell me a little about the difference between those two groups and how that impacted your view.
Well, I mean, I think that, we always have to bring compassion and the love and mercy of Christ out to the sidewalks whenever we're sidewalk counseling. And that was something that, I didn't know anything about the dynamics of the pro-life movement. I didn't know what was going on in the pro-life movement. I just knew, as somebody that was walking up into this and kind of not knowing anything about it, I just knew that, I'm walking up to this and I'm seeing people that are yelling out that these women are going to hell, and some people are giving out brochures and some people are being quiet, and some people, and I'm just thinking, what is going on here? I mean, do they really want to help women, or are they just out here to condemn them, or, what's going on? And, and I always tell people, I am not one that is for graphic signs outside of an abortion clinic. I support groups that use graphic signs in different places, and, college campuses and things like that. But I just thought, I just don't think this is the right place for it, and I still don't. But I just think that we have to. I just think we have to be very careful about how we approach the women that are going in. And I just remember thinking, I don't really know. I mean, when I first started volunteering, I didn't really know what I thought about abortion, or what I thought about being pro-life or pro-choice. But I thought, I know that what they're doing is not right. I know that calling women, murderers and baby killers and screaming at them across the fence and telling them they're going to burn in hell forever and all that, I thought, that is wrong. And I can't get on board with that. And if that's what the pro-life movement's about, I know I don't want to be a part of that. And I think that's what we have to be careful of, is public perception, how other people see us. And when 40 Days for Life took over in 2004, that's when we really saw a change. And that's when we actually started to see women making a different decision as well. We had never seen anybody change their mind out at the fence. We never had women coming up to the fence and talking to the sidewalk counselors. But when all of that went away, when all of that radical extremism went away, and 40 Days for Life took over, and all of a sudden it was just patience and compassion and mercy and love and kindness to the women going in. All of a sudden, women were turning away from abortion, and they were leaving, and they were turning to the people at the fence. They were listening to what they had to say. And so we just thought, I guess this doesn't work. This is really a threat to us. And it was. And when it came out they were going to do it nationwide, we knew that it was going to be a huge threat to the abortion industry, and it continues to be.
You talked about 2 ways that you think pro-life movement will succeed. Tell me, repeat those for me again. What do you think those are?
I think there's 2 ways going to end. I think it's going to be at the grassroots level. We need to make good laws. We need to make good state and federal laws, and the laws are important. But we can't legislate morality. And I'm definitely one that works in pro-life legislatures, and I work for that type of legislation, and I work with groups that work in different legislation, and I do that, but because I think it is important. Because I think that different legislation can close down abortion clinics, and it can reduce abortion numbers. We see that. But in the end, even if abortion were to become illegal, abortion is still going to happen. Abortion was happening before abortion was illegal, before abortion was legal in the first place. So, we have to realize that. We have to know that we are living in a very tragic culture right now that sees abortion as just another part of moral relativism. Don't want an abortion, don't have one. Well, it's not that easy, and because abortion is taking the life of another person, and so we have to be diligent, and we have to take these messages that we hear. We have to take all this. We have to take it back to our local communities, and we have to work at the abortion clinics. We have to go pray outside those abortion clinics. We have to work in our crisis pregnancy centers. We have to work with the women that are that are in those pregnancies that need assistance. We have to get the churches involved. We have to get them engaged. 72% of the women that are having abortions are sitting in church pews. They are Christians. They are sitting in the churches with us. They're women that we know. They're women that we care about. They're women that we love. That's our responsibility to make sure that they are not going into those clinics. And, I tell people, Planned Parenthood's doors, their arms are wide open for these women. And we need to prove as a Christian community that our arms are bigger. And that's our job. And so, this is not just something that, we should do it. This is something that we have to do. This is something that we must do. We are called to do it. We are commanded to do it. And I don't know how, I don't know how God feels about immigration, or I don't know how God feels about taxes, or I don't know how He feels about a lot of different things. But I know for sure that God believes in the sanctity of human life. It's so clear all throughout Scripture. And if we are Christians, we better not be lukewarm on this issue. We better be on fire. And we better be willing to do whatever it takes. We better be willing to go out to those clinics and sidewalk counsel, or go out there and pray. We better be willing to go up to the state legislature and lobby and call our senators. We better be willing to go and counsel or work with those crisis pregnancy centers. We better be willing to do what needs to be done to end abortion and to heal women's lives and to save these children and stand up for them.